Hey everybody, my name is Gavin and I love horror. Like a lot of horror fans, I got my start loving horror with ScoobyDoo reruns. ScoobyDoo is a perfect introduction to horror because every episode featured ghosts, monsters, and other supernatural mysteries, and also a lot of crossovers with the Harlem Globetrotters for some reason. Damn, that ghost just got embarrassed. But when HBO Max announced they'd be doing a more adult-themed Scooby-Doo series, being led this time by Velma, a lot of Scooby-Doo fans were confused. However, there was some excitement, especially with the series being created and run by Mindy Kaling. Well, the first 2 episodes of Velma are here, and let me say, if you were excited, this ain't it. Let's get into it. Let me start by saying that I am a big Scooby-Doo fan. They were an absolute staple of my childhood, watching reruns on Cartoon Network, and Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is a certified banger. And even the live-action movies were a lot of fun, even if now they are just a sad time capsule of what we all dressed like from 2002 to 2004. And I'm also a fan of Mindy Kaling. As a fan of The Office, she of course played Kelly Kapoor and was also one of the writers for that show, and The Mindy Project was fine for the 2 episodes that I watched, but never felt compelled to finish the series. So I like both Scooby-Doo and Mindy Kaling. I was one of the people that was excited for this new Velma series. Even though the trailer started making it look very, very meh, I was still pretty excited for it, especially because HBO Max does one of my favorite kid thing turned adult thing in the Harley Quinn series, which is absolutely fantastic. But let me say, Velma ain't no Harley Quinn. I'll save what I think is the worst part of Velma until the end, but let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, and the elephant that has led to an absolutely abysmal Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 7, and that is the race swapping of the main characters. This was a huge thing of controversy when the series was announced, because now you've got Velma, who is Indian, you've got Daphne, who's Asian, and you have Shaggy, who is an African American. Fred is still a white guy because, of course he is. But I want to take a stand now and say that my dislike of the Velma series has nothing to do with the race swapping of these characters. I don't care if you make Velma Indian or Daphne Asian. Like, I don't care about any of that, because at the end of the day, these are cartoon characters that can be any of those things. So my dislike has nothing to do with that. However, I will say, it seems like they're just using this diversification of the cast as a selling point and not really doing anything with it. And with that, it seems like it's just kind of hollow pandering, which doesn't seem great, if you will. Like, if you're gonna change these things, like, tell stories that have those things interpreted. Like, maybe they will in future episodes, I don't know. But right now it seems like just a way to get people to watch, and also a way to, like, piss off everyone who is terrible. So I don't know what they're doing in that regard. And I fully admit that I could be misinterpreting that entire thing wrong as just a simple white guy on YouTube. If I'm wrong, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments concerning this issue. My main issue with Velma is I can't really tell who it's made for. It's not really as adult or crass as Harley Quinn, but it's also not made for kids. It's also not relying on nostalgia to bring you in, but it's also not doing anything new. After watching the first 2 episodes and only chuckling like a couple of times, I was left wondering, who is this even aimed at? Who is this show being made for? Velma doesn't seem to know what it wants to be. It has a super diverse cast of characters, which is amazing, and I love that, but it also makes weird jokes at the expense of the Me Too movement, which is problematic for Mindy Kaling, especially considering some of her past tweet likes. So you aren't making a show for Scooby-Doo fans, and you're not making a show for the woke crowd, and you're also not making a show for the anti-cancel culture crowd, so the real mystery is, who is this show for? And the content that is being presented just isn't very compelling. A murder mystery, an actual murder mystery in the Scooby-Doo universe should be a slam dunk, but the way Velma presents it is so boring. Like, yes, you want to try to kind of find out who did it, but the idea of enduring more episodes just to find out who did the crime, it doesn't seem worth it at the end. The writing isn't nearly as witty as it thinks it is, and comes across more cringe than genius, and any attempts to be meta have been done much better by a dozen other shows. And it doesn't help that the way Velma is portrayed is insufferable. Velma was always the smartest and the sweetest member of the Scooby Gang, and here, she just sucks. If you're going to go in a different direction for your Scooby-Doo series and have Velma be the lead, that's fine. But don't, like, ruin her character personality traits in the process by having her be like a weird loner who disowns all of her friends. That's not somebody you root for. And then you have the incredible awkwardness of like this possible lesbian storyline between Velma and Daphne that just seems to exist to like get people outraged or make YouTube thumbnails. We liked the storyline in Harley Quinn because Harley and Ivy, it was a progression of their relationship. It took many seasons for them to get to that point where they were a couple, but Velma decides it would just rather copy the homework without doing any of the work. Before I get to what I think is the worst part of the new Velma series, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's what Scooby would want. And finally, speaking of Scooby-Doo, the worst part of Velma is that there's no Scooby-Doo in it. Like, what? What are we doing? You're doing a Scooby-Doo series without Scooby-Doo? That makes no sense. Nobody was watching Scooby-Doo cartoons for the chick who loses her glasses. No, we watched the show for dog who talk funny and eat snacks with the stoner. And there's no reason he can't be included in this more realistic murder mystery Scooby-Doo. The idea of a talking dog solving murders is amazing. And there's no competition in that department because let's face it, McGruff hasn't closed a case in 30 years. It's an insane decision to not include Scooby-Doo in your new Scooby-Doo series. It makes no sense. Make it make sense, internet. As it stands right now, Velma is not very good, and at times it is very bad. And yes, I know we're only 2 episodes in, so maybe it could find its footing with its remaining, oh God, 8 episodes? There's 8 more of these? Oh. I will probably keep watching so I can do a comprehensive review at the end of the season to see if it does get any better. But man, for my sake, I hope it does not keep being so sucky. But what did you think? Did you enjoy the first 2 episodes of Velma? Maybe I just don't get it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. As always, leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, stay weird.